Diyos ug makagagahom nga Amahan, salamat sa mga grasya nga among nadawat, labi na sa gasa sa kinabuhi. Hinaot unta nga kami hatagan sa gasa sa pagsabot ug mahayagan ang among hunahuna ug among gilauman, ikaw magahatag kanamo sa proteksyon. Sa mga magtutudlo, magapadayon ang ilang kinasing-kasing nga pag-alagad. Una kami sa kalipay, aron mulambo ang tinuod na gugma ug kaluoy sa matag adlaw. Ining tanan among gilauman, sa ngalan ni Jesus, Amen. Bayang magiliw, perlas sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisiin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bukaw. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglay minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw nang luwalhatig pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Amay ligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
The Department of Education, Division of TANGKUB City, in partnership with the local government unit of TANGKUB, presents ang TANGKUB, transforming advancement in the new normal, guiding K-12 learners under broadcast media, a TV-based instructional program crafted in response to the need of making education possible and accessible to students at the comfort of their homes. It covers the most essential competencies thematically layered in drama plays, which were originally written, directed, and performed by teachers to see to it that education is securely provided. This is ang TANGKUB.
It's TANGKUB, TANGKUB, TANGKUB time. We learn all things, it's very fun, masaya. Tugtog na.
Maayong adlaw, mga bata! Ania kita karon para sa atong pagtulunan sa pagbasa.
Magbasa na kita basahon ta siya. Magbasa na kita sa gamayng letrang T, basahon ta siya. Di sama sa trianggulo, tabanog, tatlo o tulo. Di sama sa transportasyon, TV, tansan o tilon. Tilon! Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang T, basahon ta siya. Basahon ta siya.
Andama o paklia ang inyong basa Module 3, Exercises 1, page 2. Diha inyong makita ang mga letrang T ug A. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang T ug letrang A. Ta. Akong usbon mga bata. Ta. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa ug basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga ta. Sakto mga bata.
Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang I, basahon ta siya. Magbasa na kita sa gamayng letrang I, basahon ta siya. Isama sa estudyante, eraser, exam o eclipse. Isama sa El Salvador, Egypt, England, Ecuador. Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang I, basahon ta siya. Basahon ta siya.
Karon mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa Module 3, Exercises 1, page 3. Diha inyong makita ang letrang T ug letrang E. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang T ug letrang E. Te. Akong usbon mga bata. Te. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa ug basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga te. Sakto mga bata. Karon mga bata, paklian na pod ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 1, page 4. Diha inyong makita ang letrang T ug letrang U. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang T ug letrang U. Tu. Akong usbon mga bata. Tu. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa ug basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga tu. Sakto mga bata.
Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang A. Basahon ta siya. Magbasa na kita sa gamayng letrang A. Basahon ta siya. Sama sa ampalaya, avocado, atis apa. Sama sa alindana, ahos, asin ug adlaw. Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang A. Basahon ta siya. Basahon ta siya.
Mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 2, page 2. Diha inyong makita ang letrang A ug letrang T. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang A ug letrang T. At. Akong usbon mga bata. At. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa ug basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga at. Sakto mga bata. Karon mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 2, page 3. Diha inyong makita ang letrang E ug letrang T. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang E ug letrang T. Et. Akong usbon mga bata. Et. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa ug basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga et. Sakto mga bata.
Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang O. Basahon ta siya. Sa kamay, letrang O. Basahon ta siya. O sama sa opisina. Oras okasyon. Sama sa tagon. Ukap, okra, uhong. Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang O. Letrang O. Basahon ta siya. Basahon ta siya.
Karon mga bata, paklian na pod ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 2, page 4. Diha inyong makita ang letrang O ug letrang T. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang O ug letrang T. Ot. Akong usbon mga bata. Ot, ot. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa o basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa o basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa o basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga, ot, ot. Sakto mga bata. Karon mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 2, page 5. Diha inyong makita ang letrang U o letrang T. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog sa letrang U o letrang T. Ut, ut. Akong usbon mga bata. Ut, ut. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang magbasa. Tudloa o basaha ang unang linya. Tudloa o basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudloa o basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga, ut, ut. Sakto mga bata. Diha inyong makita ang mga letrang T, A, T, A. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako pagbasa gamit ang tingog ni ini. Ta, ta, tata. Akong usbon mga bata. Ta, ta, tata. Karon mga bata, tudlua ang unang linya ug basaha ang mga pulong nga inyong makita. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga, ta, ta, tata. Sakto mga bata. Karon mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa module 3, exercises 3, page 3. Diha inyong makita ang mga letrang T, E, T, E. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon nako kini pagbasa. Te, te, tete. Akong usbon mga bata. Tse, tse, tete. Karon mga bata, tudlua ang unang linya ug basaha ang mga pulong nga inyong makita. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga tse, tse, tete. Sakto mga bata! Karon mga bata, paklia ang inyong basa Module 3, Exercises 3, page 4. Diha inyong makita ang mga letrang T, O, T, O. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon ako kini pagbasa. T-o, t-o, toto. Akong usbon mga bata. T-o, t-o, toto. Karon mga bata, tudlua ang unang linya ug basaha ang mga pulong nga inyong makita. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga t-o, t-o, toto. Sakto mga bata!
Magbasa na kita sa dakong letrang U. Basahon ta siya. Magbasa na kita sa gamayng letrang U. Basahon ta siya. Kung letrang U, basahon ta siya. Basahon ta siya.
Mga bata, paklian na pod ang inyong basa Module 3, Exercises 3, page 5. Diha inyong makita ang mga letrang T, U, T, U. Karon mga bata, paminawa ko ninyo kung unsaon nako kini pagbasa. Tsu, tsu, tutu. Akong usbon mga bata. Tsu, tsu, tutu. Karon mga bata, tudlua ang unang linya ug basaha ang mga pulong nga inyong makita. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikaduhang linya, mga bata. Tudlua ug basaha ang ikatulong linya, mga bata. Kung inyong gibasa nga tsu, tsu, tutu. Sakto mga bata! Ug din hinatapos ang atong review karong adlaw. Hangtod sa sunod nga higayon mga bata. Daghang salamat! Enjoy!
Dali namang science na kita, mag-observe o mag-discover ta, living things o non-living things, mga stars o mga planeta. Dali namang science na kita, mag-observe o mag-discover ta, living things o non-living things, mga stars o mga planeta, mga stars o mga planeta, mga stars o mga planeta. Usa, duha, tulo, upat, lima, unom, maunom, ang mati ay sayo. Ang mati ay sayo. Ang mati ay sayo. Sa Filipino, natuto tayo mabigas magsalita sa sariling wika, tula at kwento sa sariling bansa. Tayo na, mag-aral na tayo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, N, O, P, R, S, T, Q, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Ha, 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 hi, 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 Sa Filipino, matuto tayo mabigas magsalita sa sariling wika, tula at kwento sa sariling bansa. Tayo na, mag-aral na tayo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, N, O, P, R, S, T, Q, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Ha, 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 hi, 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 Ha, 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 hi, 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 Ha, 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 hi, hi, hi,
Kumusta mga bata? Welcome sa atong klase sa kindergarten, dinhi sa tulungaan sa telebisyon. Mga bata, karong adlaw aduna na usab kitay bag-o nga leksyon. Andaw na ba mo magkat-on mga bata? Ali na, magkat-on na ta! Kagahapon, atong nakatunan ang bahin sa usa ka parte sa atong lawas. Mao ang baba o mouth. Karong buntaga, magkaton kita bahin sa usa ka parte sa atong lawas. Mao ang kamot o hands. Mga bata, ato unang paminawon ang kanta kabahin sa parte sa lawas.
These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we
kanta, kabahin sa mga party sa lawas. Gisgutan dito sa kanta ang kamot o hands. Ug karon mga bata, na ako ipakita ng mga hulagway. Sa unang hulagway, akong gipataas ang akong kamot. Sa ikaduhang hulagway, akong gipaubos ang akong mga kamot. Karon mga bata, tan-awa ko ninyo. Akong gikaway-kaway ang akong mga kamot. Mao kini ang kamot o hands. Usa sa parte sa lawas. Usbon ko mga bata. Mao kini ang kamot o hands. Usa sa parte sa lawas. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Mao kini ang kamot o hands. Usa sa parte sa atong lawas. Ug karon mga bata, na ako ipakita nga video. Ato kining tan-awon.
These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my head, 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 head. I move my eyes, eyes, eyes. I move my nose, nose, nose. I move my ears, ears, ears. I move my mouth, mouth, mouth. I move my neck, neck, neck. I move my shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. I move my stomach, stomach, stomach. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my arms, arms, arms. I move my elbows, elbows, elbows. I move my hands, hands, hands. I move my fingers, fingers, fingers. I move my legs, legs, legs. I move my knees, knees, knees. I move my feet, feet, feet. I move my toes, toes, toes. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my head.
Mga bata, atong gikanta ang awit mahitungod sa body parts. Ug samtang kita nag-awit, atong gikaway-kaway, gipataas ug gipaubos ang atong kamot. Ang kamot o hands mga bata, parte kini sa atong lawas. Usbon ko mga bata, ang kamot o hands, usa sa mga parte sa atong lawas. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Ang kamot o hands, usa sa mga parte sa atong lawas. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang mubuhat sa pagpataas, pagpaubos, o pagkaway-kaway sa inyong mga kamot o hands at tubangan sa inyong mama. Sige, atubanga ang inyong mama o ipataas, ipaubos o ikaway-kaway ang iyong kamot o hands. O isulti kini. Ma, mao kini ang akong kamot o hands. Sige, sulay na mga bata. Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, Ngayon, buhatan na pud kini ngadto sa imong papa. Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo na ang nabuhat, very good! Sige, ato ba nga inyong ate? O buhatak kini? Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, maayo! Buhatan na pud kini ngadto sa bisan kinsa nga anaa sa inyong panimalay. Nabuhat na ba ninyong mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, very good! Karong mga bata, oras na para sa inyong unang buluhaton. Diha sa inyong self-learning material, inyong makita nga adunay giputos sa usa ka papel. Sa sulod sa putos, mao ang ginunting nga drawing. Ang inyong buhaton, i-plaster kini o i-arrange aron makita kung unsa ang maporma. Ug kung inyo kini na maporma, ipatapot kini sa blanko nga papel. Sugdi na ang buhat ninyo mga bata. Alang sa inyong dugang nga buluhaton, subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Akong usbon mga bata. Subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Ug dinhi natapos ang atong klase sa kindergarten karong adlaw. Hangtod sa sunod higayon. Daghang salamat mga bata. Bye-bye.
This is the way we speak. This is the way
welcome sa atong klase sa kindergarten dinhi sa tulungaan sa telebisyon. Mga bata, karong adlaw aduna na usab kitay bag-o nga leksyon. Andam na ba mo magkat-on mga bata? Ali na, magkat-on na ta! Kagahapon, atong nakatunan ang bahin sa usa ka parte sa atong lawas. Mao ang baba o mouth. Karong buntaga, magkat-on kita bahin sa usa ka parte sa atong lawas. Mao ang kamot o hands. Mga bata, ato unang paminawon ang kanta kabahin sa parte sa lawas. Atong nadungog sa kanta, kabahin sa mga party sa lawas. Gisgutan dito sa kanta ang kamot o hands. Ug karon mga bata, na ako ipakita ng mga hulagway. Sa unang hulagway, akong gipataas ang akong kamot. Sa ikaduhang hulagway, akong gipaubos ang akong mga kamot. Karon mga bata, tan-awa ko ninyo. Akong gikaway-kaway ang akong mga kamot. Mao kini ang kamot o hands. usa sa parte sa lawas. Usbon ko mga bata. Mao kini ang kamot o hands, usa sa parte sa lawas. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Mao kini ang kamot o hands, usa sa parte sa atong lawas. Ug karon mga bata, na ako'y ipakita nga video. Ato kining tan-awon.
These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my head, 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 head. I move my eyes, eyes, eyes. I move my nose, nose, nose. I move my ears, ears, ears. I move my mouth, mouth, mouth. I move my neck, neck, neck. I move my shoulders, shoulders, shoulders. I move my stomach, stomach, stomach. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my arms, arms, arms. I move my elbows, elbows, elbows. I move my hands, hands, hands. I move my fingers, fingers, fingers. I move my legs, legs, legs. I move my knees, knees, knees. I move my feet, feet, feet. I move my toes, toes, toes. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. These are the parts of my body from my head to my toes. I'm gonna move each body part and say it. Here we go. I move my head.
Mga bata, atong gikanta ang awit mahitungod sa body parts. Ug samtang kita nag-awit, atong gikaway-kaway, gipataas ug gipaubos ang atong kamot. Ang kamot o hands mga bata, parte kini sa atong lawas. Usbon ko mga bata, ang kamot o hands, usa sa mga parte sa atong lawas. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Ang kamot o hands, usa sa mga parte sa atong lawas. Karon mga bata, kamo na pod ang mubuhat sa pagpataas, pagpaubos, o pagkaway-kaway sa inyong mga kamot o hands at tubangan sa inyong mama. Sige, atubanga ang inyong mama o ipataas, ipaubos o ikaway-kaway ang iyong kamot o hands. O isulti kini. Ma, mao kini ang akong kamot o hands. Sige, sulay na mga bata. Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, maayo! Ngayon, buhatan na pud kini ngadto sa inyong papa. Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, very good! Sige, atuba nga ang inyong ate o buhatak kini. Nabuhat na ba ninyo mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, maayon! Buhatan na pud kini ngadto sa bisan kinsa nga anaa sa inyong panimalay. Nabuhat na ba ninyong mga bata? Kung inyo nang nabuhat, very good! Karong mga bata, oras na para sa inyong unang buluhaton. Diha sa inyong self-learning material, inyong makita nga adunay giputos sa usa ka papel. Sa sulod sa putos, mao ang ginunting nga drawing. Ang inyong buhaton, i-plaster kini o i-arrange aron makita kung unsa ang maporma. Ug kung inyo kini na maporma, ipatapot kini sa blanko nga papel. Sugdi na og buhat ninyo mga bata. Alang sa inyong dugang nga buluhaton, subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Akong usbon mga bata. Subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Akong usbon sa makausa mga bata. Subaya ang putol-putol nga linya. Aron maporma ang usa ka kamot o hand. Dayon, kolore kini sa inyong gusto nga color. Ug dinhi natapos ang atong klase sa kindergarten karong adlaw. Hangtod sa sunod higayon. Daghang salamat mga bata. Bye-bye!
Alamin ang teknolohiya sa agrikultura at pangkabuhayan upang umunlad ang ating bayan sagana sa likas na yaman. Halika na mag-ipipina, ipipina, ipipina. Halika na, mag-aral na. Alamin ang teknolohiya sa agrikultura at pangkabuhayan upang umunlad ang ating bayan sagana sa likas na yaman. Halika na mag-ipipina, ipipina, ipipina. Halika na, mag-aral na. Ipipina, 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 ipipina.
Tanggub City, simply home. Tanggub City, simply home. This is our place, Tanggub City. There is so much you can see. A paradise from nature's best. It's a beauty among the rest. Rich in culture and history, it has a colorful festivity. One people in harmony, one people in great revelry. Tanggub City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is ahead. Tanggub City is a place to be. Tanggub City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Healing for progress and development. People remain focused to their commitment. Preserving the tradition of good values into Tanggub City, simply call our home. Tanggub City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Brighter future, Tanggub City, simply home. Tanggub City, simply home. Tanggub City.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ang mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina.
Edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, ang
payong pagkaton. Kagahapon, inyong nakatunan ang shape nga circle. Ug karong adlaw, magkatunaw sa bitag lain pa nga shape. Sige. Pero, sa dili pa kita magsugod, nakahinumdum ba ka mo? Kinsa to ang atong amigo? Atong yaging adlaw? Kinsa gali to? Sakto ka! Si Jonathan! Uy, kabalo ba mo nga birthday karon ni Jonathan? Atong himay-himayon ang pagsaulog sa birthday ni Jonathan. Sige, sugdan na nato!
Mga bata, nakahinumdum pa ba mo kaniya? Uy, sakto ka, siya si Jonathan. Kabalo ba mo nga birthday ni Jonathan karon? Ug ana ay importante nga tawo siyang kinabuhi nga na ay ihatag sa iya ha. Kini siya, mao si Nanay Rosa. Aduna siya ihatag ni Jonathan kay birthday man niya. Usa ka gift. Uy, kanahan ba mo magkabaluon sa gift na dadawat ni Jonathan gikan ni Nanay Rosa? Sige, atong susihon ug unsay sulod ni anang gift. Uy, mao ka na ang mga butang. Sulod sa gift ni Nanay Rosa para ni Jonathan. Kabalo ba mo unsay porma sa kasagaraang gift ni Jonathan? Nantawa ang iyang porma or shape? Sakto ka. Square or kahon. So karong adlaw mga bata, pagatunan ang mga butang nga ang porma square. Ikaw daw, Bi? Square. Very good, mga bata. Sige. Ato sa ning tag sa taog sa unang gift ni Jonathan. Unsa gali na? Sakto, gift or regalo. Unsa gali porma sa gift ni Jonathan? Correct. Square. Square ang regalo. Ikaw, Dobby? Square ang regalo. Sakto ka. Ang square, mga bata, adunay upat ka mga kilid. Og pariha ka tas-on ang iyang mga kilid. Kana mga bata, unsa na kinsa may nagadula og ginana? Mao ka na ang chessboard. Unsa may porma sa chessboard? Sakto, square. So, square ang chessboard. Ikaw daw, Bi? Square ang chessboard. Very good. Kana mga bata, gamito nato na kung singtunta ato nang ipahid sa atong singot. Kung naihugaw sa atong nawong ato usab nang ipahid. Unsa man kana? Correct. Panyo. Unsa may porma sa panyo? Sakto. Square. Square ang panyo. Ikaw daw, Bi? Square ang panyo. Very good. Kana mga bata, nagadula ka bang ingonana? Uy, maayo. Unsa man kana? Usa ka? Rubrics. Dapat magkapariha ang iyahang mga color sa usa ka side. Kung sa lain pud nga side, lahi pud nga color. Unsa may porma sa rubrics? Sakto, square. Square ang Rubik's Cube. Kana mga bata. Lami kaayo na. Mao ka na'y handa ni Jonathan. Mga sandwich or sandwiches. Unsa may porma sa sandwich? Correct. Square. Square ang sandwich. Very good mga bata. Mga bata, mao kini ang inyong buhaton. Kulora no pula ang oblong sa ubos ni anang hulagway kung square ang ihang porma. O lantawon ninyo ang hulagway kung kini square, kulura ninyo og pula nga prayola ang oblong nga nasa ubos sa hulagway. Atong sugdan. Aduna kami makita nga duha ka hulagway. Ang unang hulagway mao ang Rubik's Cube. Ang ikaduha mao ang kalo. Asa man ni ana nga hulagway ang porma niya square. Sige daw bi, kulori daw bi ang oblong nga naa sa ubos ayan ng hulagway niya. Sakto ka, ang Rubik's maoy adunay porma nga square. Very good. Kana mga bata, unsa inyong nakita? Sakto, orasan o bintana. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square. Sige daw bi, kulori daw bi. Sakto ka, ang bintana. Very good. Kana mga bata. Aduna kamoy makita nga globe ug sandwich. Asa man ni ana nga hulagway ang adunay porma nga square. Ang globe or ang sandwich? Sige daw bi, kulori daw bi. Very good. Ang sandwich adunay porma nga square. Very good. Kana mga bata, unsa man kana? Sakto. Regalo o watermelon. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square? Very good. Ang regalo. Kana mga bata. Aduna kami makita nga ligid og unlan. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square? Ang ligid or ang unlan? Sakto, ang unlan. Very good. Salamat mga bata.
Wow! Maayo na gid kaayo mo identify og shape nga square. O karong adlaw inyo nakatunan ang shape nga. Unsa gani nga shape? Very good. Square. Daghang salamat mga bata. O magkita-kita na usab kita sa sunod sa malipayong pagkaton. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
happy na. Dali na mag-science na kita, mag-observe o mag-discover ta, living things o non-living things, mga stars o mga planeta. Dali na mag-science na kita, mag-observe o mag-discover ta, living things o non-living things, mga stars o mga planeta, mga stars o mga planeta, mga stars o mga planeta.
Hi mga bata! Welcome na usab sa Malipayong Pagkaton! Kagahapon, inyong nakatunan ang shape nga circle. Ug karong adlaw, magkatunaw sa bitag lain pa nga shape. Sige. Pero, sa dili pa kita magsugod, nakahinumdum ba ka mo? Kinsa to ang atong amigo? Atong yaging adlaw? Kinsa gali to? Sakto ka! Si Jonathan! Uy, kabalo ba mo nga birthday karon ni Jonathan? Atong himay-himayon ang pagsaulog sa birthday ni Jonathan. Sige, sundan na nato!
Mga bata, nakahinumdum pa ba mo kaniyan? Uy, sakto ka, siya si Jonathan. Kabalo ba mo nga birthday ni Jonathan karon? Ug ana ay importante nga tawo siyang kinabuhi nga na ay ihatag sa iya ha. Kini siya, mao si Nanay Rosa. Aduna siya ihatag ni Jonathan kay birthday man niya. Usa ka gift. Uy, kanahan ba mo magkabaluon sa gift nga dadawat ni Jonathan gikan ni Nanay Rosa? Sige, atong susihon ug unsay sulod ni anang gift. Uy, mao ka na ang mga butang. Sulod sa gift ni Nanay Rosa para ni Jonathan. Kabalo ba mo unsay porma sa kasagaraang gift ni Jonathan? Nantawa ang iyang porma or shape? Sakto ka. Square or kahon. So karong adlaw mga bata, pagatunan ang mga butang nga ang porma square. Ikaw daw, B? Square. Very good, mga bata. Sige. Ato sa ning tag sa taog saon ang gift ni Jonathan. Unsa gali na? Sakto, gift or regalo. Unsa gali porma sa gift ni Jonathan? Correct. Square. Square ang regalo. Ikaw, Dobby? Square ang regalo. Sakto ka. Ang square mga bata, adunay upat ka mga kilid. Og pariha ka tas-on ang iyang mga kilid. Kana mga bata, unsa na kinsa may nagadula og inana? Mao ka na ang chessboard. Unsa may porma sa chessboard? Sakto, square. So Square ang chessboard. Ikaw daw, B? Square ang chessboard. Very good. Kana mga bata, gamito nato na kung singtunta ato nang ipahid sa atong singot. Kung naihugaw sa atong nawong ato usab nang ipahid. Unsa man kana? Correct. Panyo. Unsa may porma sa panyo? Sakto. Square. Square ang panyo. Ikaw daw, B? Square ang panyo. Very good. Kana mga bata, nagadula ka bang ingunana? Uy, maayo. Unsa man kana? Usa ka? Rubrics. Dapat magkapariha ang iyahang mga color sa usa ka side. Ug sa lain pud nga side, lahi pud nga color. Unsa may porma sa rubrics? Sakto, square. Square ang rubrics cube. Kana mga bata, lami kaayo na. Mao ka na'y handa ni Jonathan. Mga sandwich or sandwiches. Unsa may porma sa sandwich? Correct. Square. Square ang sandwich. Very good mga bata. Mga bata, mao kini ang inyong buhaton. Kulora ng pula ang oblong sa ubos ni anang hulagway kung square ang ihang porma. O lantawon ninyo ang hulagway kung kini square, kulura ninyo og pula nga crayola ang oblong nga naa sa ubos sa hulagway. Atong sugdan. Aduna kami makita nga duha ka hulagway. Ang unang hulagway mao ang rubrics cube. Ang ikaduha mao ang kalo. Asa man ni ana nga hulagway ang porma niya square. Sige daw, B. Kulori daw, B, ang oblong nga naa sa ubos ayan ng hulagway niya. Sakto ka. Ang rubrics maoy adunay porma nga square. Very good. Kana mga bata, unsa inyong nakita? Sakto, orasan o bintana. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square. Sige daw, B. Kulori daw, B. Sakto ka. Ang bintana. Very good. Kana mga bata. Aduna kamoy makita nga globe ug sandwich. Asa man ni ana nga hulagway ang adunay porma nga square. Ang globe or ang sandwich? Sige daw, B. Kulori daw, B. Very good. Ang sandwich adunay porma nga square. Very good. Kana mga bata, unsa man kana? Sakto. Regalo ug watermelon. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square? Very good. Ang regalo. Kana mga bata. Aduna kamoy makita nga ligid og unlan. Asa man ni ana ang adunay porma nga square? Ang ligid or ang unlan? Sakto, ang unlan. Very good. Salamat mga bata.
Wow! Maayo na gid kaayo mo identify og shape nga square. Karong adlaw inyo nakatunan ang shape nga. Unsa gani nga shape? Very good. Square. Daghang salamat mga bata. Ug magkita-kita na usab kita sa sunod sa malipayong pagkaton. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
bye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye!
Alamin ang teknolohiya sa agrikultura at pangkabuhayan upang umunlad ang ating bayan sagana sa likas na yaman. Halika na mag-ipipina, ipipina, ipipina. Halika na, mag-aral na. Alamin ang teknolohiya sa agrikultura at pangkabuhayan upang umunlad ang ating bayan sagana sa likas na yaman. Halika na mag-ipipina, ipipina, ipipina. Halika na, mag-aral na. Ipipina, 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 ipipina.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ang mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina.
Tanggub City, simply home. This is our place, TANGKUB City. There is so much you can see. A paradise from nature's best. It's a beauty among the rest. Rich in culture and history, it has a colorful festivity. One people in harmony, one people in great revelry. TANGKUB City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. TANGKUB City is simply home. 25 years of cultural fame, endless beauty in silver years. Magical symbols every Christmas, people dance in all festivals. Golden years of prosperity, we are proud of this great city. One people, one destiny. TANGKUB City is a place to be. TANGKUB City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's the legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Gearing for progress and development, people remain focused to their commitment. Preserving the tradition of good values into TANGKUB City, simply call our home. TANGKUB City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Brighter future, TANGKUB City, simply home. TANGKUB City, simply home. TANGKUB City.
Why you look so sad? The tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess can make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm a lot like you. When you're standing at the crossroads and don't know which path to choose, let me come along. 'Cause 'Cause even if you're wrong, I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. Feeling all alone, you won't be on your own. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
Sa Pilipino, matuto tayo, mabigas magsalita sa sariling wika, tula at kwento sa sariling bansa, tayo na mag-aral na tayo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, ang O, P, R, S, T, Q, U, V, W, X, Y, at Z. Ha, 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 hi, 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 Sa Pilipino, matuto tayo, mabigas magsalita sa sariling wika, tula at kwento sa sariling bansa, tayo na mag-aral na tayo. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, ang O, P, R, S, T, Q, U, V, W, X, Y, at Z. Ha, 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 hi, 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 Ha, 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 hi, 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 Ha, 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 hi, hi, hi,
My name's Eep.
Big stuff.
It's news. And we're the world's first family, the Crudes.
Another glorious morning.
Dad always says the pack stays together.
That's my girl. Seatbelt mode.
Now we're searching for a perfect place to call home.
Juan! Anak! Matulog ka na at gabi-gabi na! Paalala lang ha, na maaga alis natin bukas.
Opo, Inay. Tatapusin ko muna ito. Malapit na matapos.
O ano ba yung pinanood mo, Juan, at ayaw mong mabibig?
The Crudes po, Inay. Dito po, nalalaman ko ang uri ng pamumuhay ng caveman. At saka, ang pagbabago ng kanilang pamumuhay sa paglipas ng maraming taon. O, ayan po, Inay. Tapos na.
Indonesia's Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysical Agency reported a magnitude of 4.9 quake in the Philippines. In the Philippines, near the city of Boracay, only 13 minutes ago. The earthquake hit in the evening on Thursday, 19 on the November 2020 at 8:14 p.m. local time at a moderately shallow depth of 30 kilometers. Weak shaking might have been felt in Boracay, population of 132,100, located 4 kilometers from the epicenter. Pagadian, population of 186,900, 5 kilometers away. Labangan, population of 10,800, 10 kilometers away. Cagawasan, population of 2,200, 12 kilometers away. Tukuran, population of 13,100, 13 kilometers away. Mantampay, population of 265,000, 92 kilometers away.
Nabasa ko na kanina ang balitang iyan sa newspaper. Hay nako, talagang nakakabahala na ang balita ngayon dahil marahil sa pagbabago ng klima na epekto ng globalisasyon.
Tama ka, Inay. Maaaring malaking dahilan ng climate change sa globalisasyon. Yan kasi ang tinalakay namin ni Teacher Esther kanina.
Talaga na? Speaking of globalisasyon, talagang naaapektuhan ng malaki ang ekonomiya at politikal na kalagayan ng mga bansa sa daigdig. O sige anak, good night! Oh, teka muna, tapos ka na bang mag-toothbrush at maglinis ng buong katawan?
Opo, Inay. Tapos na po. Sige po. Good night din po, Inay. morning, Itay!
Good morning din, Hannibal.
Good morning, Hannibals!
Ready na ba ang lahat?
Yes! Yes, Daddy!
Yun, let's go!
Oh, ready na ba kayo mga anak? Parang matamlay ka, Juan. Naku! Parang may sinat ka. 3 oras pa naman ang biyahe natin patungo sa tito mo. Teka lang, kukuha mo na ako ng thermometer. $37.5. Hindi kasi natulog ng maaga. O ito, inumin mo ang gamot at matulog ka sa biyahe.
Sorry po, inay.
Oh, ikaw naman yan, Josephine. Ano namang pinagkakaabalahan mo dyan?
Kasi, Nay, may research po kasi kami, Nay. Wala na ako ibang time, kaya sinulit ko na lang ito sa biyahe natin.
Naku, naku naman itong batang to. Pwede namang paglaanan ng oras niyan pagdating natin doon. Sasakit ang mata mo niyan.
Yan naman eh.
Oo nga, anak. Ang lakas ng volume, kahit naka-headset kayo, naririnig ko. Alam mo bang sa lakas ng radar niyan ay pwedeng masira ang tenga mo?
Talaga po ba, Tay? Sorry po, hindi na po mauulit.
Vance, paki-turn on naman ang FM station para makapag-relax naman itong mind ko.
Right away, Honey Buns!
Magdadrive ko hanggang Baguio. Magdadrive ko hanggang Bicol. Magdadrive ko hanggang...
Nay! Malapit po ba tayo? Ang ganda sana ng panaginip ko. Nandun daw kami sa museo. Sayang, nagising ako kagad. Marami pa sana akong matutunan.
Ay, nako. Bunga ng sinat lang yan.
Isasama ko kahit sino.
Hi, James Gunn. 36.5. Buti na lang, hindi na uwi sa lagdat ang sinat mo kanina.
Nay! Bakit po Honey Buns ang tawagan niyo ni tatay?
Kasi anak, iyang honey ay matamis na. Tapos, ang kasama sa Cebuana term ay uban. Kaya, honey buns. Matamis kasi kasama si tatay.
You're making me kilig.
Kaya pala hindi ko naririnig na tinatawag mong haniban si tatay kapag may hindi kayo napag-uunawaan.
Pilyo ka talaga, anak!
Kung ako'y mahimong baboy, ihikot sa inyong silong. Kung aduna mo'y kaluoy, makaon lamang huktai. Kung wana'y baboy sa inyong silong.
May pamilya ka ba?
Opo, yung tatay ko may sakit. Yung nanay ko naman walang trabaho, kaya napilitin ako ganito.
O heto, tanggapin mo ito, tsaka ito na ring pera. Huwag ka nang manglimos ha. Delikado ang panahon ngayon kasi may COVID-19, kaya kung pwede, umuwi ka na.
Opo, maraming salamat po. Maraming tulong na sa pamilya ko po. Thank you po. Bye-bye.
Believe talaga ako sa'yo, Tay. Ang bait-bait mo. Hindi ka nag-alinlangang natulungan siya kahit hindi naman kita sa postura niya na nangangailangan siya ng tulong.
Alam mo anak, ang pagiging mabuti sa kapwa-tao ay isang magandang hiyas na may pamamana namin sa inyo.
Oo, huwag nating ibatay sa itsura ng tao ang pagbabahagi natin ng kabutihang loob. Huwag tayong mamili kung sino ang ating tutulungan. Pag may nangangailangan at syempong may maibibigay tayo, huwag nating ipagkait sa kanila ang kunting sayang maibabahagi natin.
Swerte talaga namin sa inyo, Nay, Tay. Di ba, Kuya?
Tama.
Honey Buns, pakicheck na sa Google Map kung ilang kilometro pa mula rito.
Oo nga, ilang oras na tayong nagbibiyahe at medyo malayo-layo na rin ang nararating natin. Honey Buns, mga 20 kilometro pa ang layo mula rito.
Maiba tayo, Honey Buns. May kasamahan ako sa trabaho na nagdi-deal sa akin ng kanyang palayan. Matinding pangangailangan daw. Saktong-sakto, naghahanap tayo ng additional income.
Talaga? Gaano kalaki ang area?
50 by 20, Honey Buns. Sabay nating tingnan ang area pagbalik natin sa TANGKUB.
Desidido ako dyan, Honey Buns. Kasi hindi man palagi iyan sa pang-araw-araw na konsumo sa bawat pamilya. Lalo pat present palagi iyan sa bawat okasyon.
Tama. Alam mo ba, Honey Buns, yan din ang iniisip ko. Lalo na ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya, makatutulong ang papasuking business natin bilang dagdag supply ng bigas sa market.
Tataglang ko ng pagkain, burger, fries, tapsilog at siopaw. Magdalay ko.
Tankaniki no tomonori, hisakata no hikari no dokeki, haru no hiri, shizukokoro naku, hana no chiruramu. Tankaniki no tomonori, hisakata no hikari no dokeki, haru no hiri, shizukokoro naku, hana no chiruramu. Hisakata no hikari no dokeki, haru no hiri, shizukokoro naku, hana no chiruramu. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Haiko ni basho. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Haiku ni basho. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari. Haiku ni basho. Hatsushigure, saru mo komi no wo hoshigenari.
Ginoong Juan de la Cruz! Juan de la Cruz!
Po!
Nagde-dreaming ka na naman!
Opo ma'am, binibining Santa Maria. Sorry po, Ma'am, maaari po bang marinig muli yung tula?
Yan kasi, hindi nakikinig.
Hatsushigure, saru mo komino wo hoshige nari. Hatsushigure, saru mo komino wo hoshige nari. Haiko ni basho.
Mahusay po ang pagkabigkas, ma'am. Puno ng emosyon at may buhay.
Magaling. Umupo ka na, Juan.
Salamat po, ma'am.
Ngayon, ano ang pagkakatulad ng kultura nating mga Pilipino sa kultura ng mga Hapon? Pakinggan natin ang sagot ni Sarah.
Ang pagkakatulad ng kultura ng mga Hapon sa kultura nating mga Pilipino ay ang pagiging magalang sa pananalita at paraan ng pagkilos. Tulad ng pagbati sa nakasalubong at pagpapakita ng paggalang.
Mahusay, Sarah. Palakpakan natin siya. Okay, at dahil time na, bilang takdang aralin ninyo, ipapasa ito bukas. Isulat ninyo kung ano ang mensahe ng mayakda sa likod ng mga matatalinghagang salita. Maliwanag ba?
Yes, ma'am.
At ikaw, Juan,
Po, ma'am.
dahil hindi ka nakinig kanina, ikaw ang una magpapresenta bukas. Naunawaan mo ba?
Opo, ma'am. Ma'am, sorry po.
Uy, ano ba yung iniisip mo kanina at malayong-malayo ang tingin mo?
Wala yun. Tara, tayo na. Sabay na tayo.
Hulog. Uy! Ayan! Nagmamadali ka na naman. Ano to? Picture mo na nag-warm up ka?
Akin na. Salamat ha. Call of nature eh.
Hello, good morning. This is Miss Santa Maria of TANGKUB City National High School. May I help you po?
Hello ma'am, good morning din po. This is Mr. San Jose, father of Josefa. I've got a letter from you just now at nalaman ko na medyo behind siya sa klase pagkat palagi siyang late. Are you really sure about this, ma'am? Maaga ko siyang inihahatid dyan sa paralan.
Excuse me po, sir. Lalabas muna ako ng classroom, ha? Para pag-usapan yung tungkol sa anak niyo. Sandali.
Uy, Judith, akala ko tapos mo nang basahin yan.
Just review reading. I just like the story.
Ano ba naman tong katabi ko?
Oh,
Judith,
no sabi?
para sa'yo, happily given.
Partily given nga. Lusaw naman. Di bale, salamat Pedro.
Ang akin, wala. Pambihira naman to. Parang si Judith lang yung kaibigan niya.
Parang pag-ibig ko lang yan sa'yo. Unti-unti nang nalulusaw sa kakaantay kung kailan ko matatanggap ang matamis mong pagod.
Ang sabihin mo, nalusaw na yan sa sobrang init ng disturbo mo kay Judith.
Ikaw naman? Ay, okay. Wait, munti ko na nakalimutan. Okay, since marunong ka naman sa English, paki-double check naman tong advocacy speech tungkol sa mental health para bukas.
Isa lang nakikita kong parang hindi akma sa salita. Instead na power, palitan mo ng empower.
perfect nyo.
Oo nga, lahat tayo ay may pantay-pantay na buhay at tungkulin. Marunong naman tayong gumalang, pareho naman tayong estudyante, at may pantay-pantay na karapatan.
Good morning, class!
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Anong kaguluhan ang narinig ko kanina? Pedro?
Wala po, ma'am.
Okay. Before we will start our class discussion today, let us check first your assignment about your illustration of polynomial functions.
Alam nyo, naawa ko kay Josefa. Malapit na kaibigan ng tatay ko yung tatay niya. Mabait naman yun eh. Kaya nga lang, napasama sa maling impluwensya ng barkada. Kaya ayun, napabiso, sugal, droga, maaga na buntis. Nagluko para umuwi yung mga magulang niya. Pero wala eh, hindi pa rin umuwi. Kaya ayun yung nangyari.
Lahat naman tayo, alam yung kwento ng buhay niya. Pero believe nga ako sa kanya eh. Kasi natuto siyang bumangon at magbago.
Nakarelate ako sa nabasa ko nobela. Kahawig ng istorya niya. Kaya nga nagpapasalamat ako at may mga magulang na gumagabay sa akin. Believe ako sa'yo, Juan.
Di sa akin, believe ko rin ba?
Ewan ko sa'yo.
Okay, may tinapay pala ako dito sa bag ko. Halit, pagsaluhan natin.
Siya nga pala, Juan. Nakita ko to. Naiwan mo sa desk mo kahapon.
Ay, salamat. Binasa mo ba?
Oo naman. Kaya pala wala ka sa sarili mo kahapon.
Pabasa naman!
Hoy! Dali!
In our day-to-day conversation with others, one of the many skills that we use is listening. Upon waking up every morning, we listen to the different sounds around us, or to the songs that we like. We also do listen to understand each other, and without consciously knowing, we apply various listening skills and techniques to ensure comprehension.
Hello, grade 7 learners! Welcome to another episode of Learning English. Today, let us learn how to use listening strategies based on purpose, familiarity of the topic, and levels of difficulty of the short text listened to.
But first, let us view a portion of the episode and observe how the character or characters applied listening strategies for better understanding.
Oh, ikaw naman yan, Josephine. Ano namang pinagkakaabalahan mo dyan? Kasi, Nay, may research po kasi kami, Nay. Wala na ako ibang time, kaya sinulit ko na lang ito sa biyahe natin.
Did you notice how the character applied the appropriate listening strategy while doing the research? You're right! Josephine was attentively paying attention while listening to the audio of the topic. She also took down notes while listening.
However, listening attentively, paying attention, and taking down notes are just few of the many strategies for better understanding, because there is still a lot more. Before learning other strategies, let us identify first the reasons why we listen. These are: first, to obtain information; second, to understand; third, to learn; fourth, to communicate; and lastly, to enjoy. Listening comprehension can be the basis for your abilities in speaking and writing. You can be able to write and speak properly if you have good listening comprehension. On the other hand, listening skill is the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. This time, let us learn other listening strategies based on purpose. Listening for the main idea. The purpose of this type of listening is to grasp the main points or general information presented by the speaker from the audio-video you are listening to. Second, listening for details. When you listen for details, your goal is to gather specific important details or information like names, date, object, or place. You do not need to put your attention to the entire message of the selection that you are listening to. Third, predicting the content. When you are listening to news, you can often predict the kind of words or language that will be used. Your stock knowledge or any stored information in the brain can also help us predict the topic of a specific content. Fourth and last, inferring the message. When you listen, it is also important to infer the meaning presented by the speaker using clues and your prior knowledge to work out the meaning of what you hear. By using context clues, you can identify what is being said, who is speaking, and what is taking place.
This time, let us listen to a short recording and be guided with these questions to be answered later on. Question number 1. What is the main point or general information presented in the audiovisual material? Number 2. What is the title of the program? Number 3. Who are the characters involved? Number 4. When, where, why, and how did it happen? Number 5. What are the words or languages used which help you identifying the topic or a specific content of the material? And the last question is, how did you infer the meaning of the material? So, prepare a pen and a paper as you listen to this audiovisual material. Good luck, learners!
Meet Hardy and Coco. Since they were kids, they loved the same things. All things unhealthy. As they grew up and started working, both would spend most of the time sitting behind their desks. After work, they would go out for drinks and they would party almost every night. One night, after many countless nights, it was just too much. Coco started feeling sick. Hardy told his mom Martha about Coco. Martha worried for her son and told him to go see a doctor. The doctor reassured him that all will be well as long as he changed his lifestyle.
My lifestyle? No!
This time, let us check how good you are in extracting the details of the material you had listened to a while ago. Kindly check if we have the same answers, dear learners. Number 1, what is the main point or general information presented in the audio-video material? This is the possible answer. The material shows us the bad habits which resulted to an unhealthy heart. Number 2, what is the title of the program? The title of the program is Non-Communicable Disease Prevention and Control. Number 3, who are the characters involved? Possible answer. The characters involved are Hearty, Coco, their parents, and their friends. Or number 4, when, where, why, and how did it happen? It happened one night after many countless nights. When they were on the street, Coco started feeling sick. It is the result of doing too much unhealthy practices, like always going out for drinks and having party all night, eating unhealthy foods, and sitting all day long during working hours. Number 5, what are the words or language used which help you in identifying the topic or a specific content of the material? Possible answer. Some of the words are unhealthy, heart, disease, and more, since the meaning of these words are interrelated as we connect them to the idea of the piece being listened to. Number 6, how did you infer the meaning of the material? I inferred the meaning of the material by getting its main idea, which mainly talks about how to achieve a healthy heart because it shows the factors of having a high risk of heart attack or stroke.
For sure you have arrived at almost similar answers, worded differently. For that, congratulations, our dear learners. For now, here are some of the tips for you to improve your listening skills. Before you listen, think about the topic of the text you are going to listen to. What do you actually know about it? What could possibly be the content of the texts? If you have to do a task on listening, check whether you have understood the task correctly. Think about what kind of text are you going to listen to. Relax and make yourself ready to pay attention to the text that you're about to listen. While you are listening, it is not necessary to understand every single word. Try to ignore those words that you think are less important anyway. If there are words or issues that you don't understand, use your general knowledge as well as context to find out the meaning. If you still don't understand something, use a dictionary to look up for words or ask someone else for help. Focus on keywords and facts. Take notes to support your memory. Intonation and stress of the speakers can help you understand what you hear. And lastly, try to think ahead. What might happen next? What might the speaker say? Which words might they use? After listening, you also need to, first, think about the text again. Did you understand the main point? Remember the speculations you made before listening. Did it turn out to be true? Review your notes. Check whether you have completed your task correctly. Did you have any problem while listening or completing the task? Listen again to different passages.
Now that you have learned how to use appropriate listening strategies based on purpose, familiarity with the topic, and levels of difficulty of the short text listened to, it's time for you to get your activity sheet and do the tasks.
Directions. Listen to the news report from this link and answer the questions given. While listening, apply the strategies that you have learned. You can read the questions first before listening to the audio.
Listening comprehension can be the basis for your ability in speaking and writing. Having this skill, you can be able to write, relay, and speak information properly and correctly to others.
Thank you for being with us, learners. Continue to love, care, and share. Till then, and see you for our next episode here still in our one and only educational TV program, TANGKUB. This has been Teacher Mahalia
and Teacher Pinky
saying, have fun learning.
Bye!
Waste isn't waste until we waste it. Be part of the solution, not part of the pollution. Happy New Year, grade 7 learners! I am Teacher James and welcome to another learning episode of TANGKUB TV-based instruction. At this moment, we are now to process your learning in TLE Household Services Exploratory course based on the video played earlier. Let's try to look back at this scene. Based on the scene, Nanay is throwing garbage. Let's try to look closely at their garbage bins. Can you observe the label on their trash bins? What are they? Their trash bins were labeled biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and recyclable. For today's lesson, learners, we will discuss waste management. Waste include all items that people no longer have any use for, which they either intend to get rid of or have already discarded. Waste management is the collection, transport, processing, recycling, or disposal of waste materials. Waste management program helps to manage hazardous chemical, radioactive, medical, and other waste safely and legally. Types of waste. Solid waste is defined as any waste that is dry in form and is discarded as unwanted. It can be described as domestic waste. Examples are plastics, bottles, cans, and other trashes. Second is liquid waste. Include human waste, runoff such as stormwater and floodwater, industrial wastewater, and other forms of wastewater from different sources. Examples are chemicals, oils, and water waste from ponds. Classification of waste according to their properties. First, biodegradable are those that can be broken down or decomposed into their constituent elements by bacteria and other microorganisms. The term can be applied to both liquid and solid waste. Examples are human and animal waste, food waste, and paper. Second is non-biodegradable, is any discarded item that cannot be broken down or decomposed by living organisms. Non-biodegradable waste accumulates in the environment because it cannot return to its origins. Examples are plastics, bottles, old machine, containers, and many more. Classification of waste according to their effects on human health and the environment. First, hazardous waste are unsafe substances used commercially, industrially, agriculturally, or economically. Examples are paints, motor oil, pesticide, drain opener, prescription drugs, air fresheners, batteries, and many more. Next are non-hazardous wastes. These are safe substances used commercially, industrially, agriculturally, or economically. Examples are papers, cardboards, linings, paper packaging materials, or absorbents. Here is an example of the process flow of waste management. The process flow of waste management refers to the 3 or 4 R's of reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover, which classify waste management strategies according to their desirability. The R's are meant to be a hierarchy in order of importance. However, the waste hierarchy has 5 steps: reduce, reuse, recycle, recovery, and disposal. Reduce, to buy less and use less. Reuse, elements of the discarded items are used again. Recycle, discards are segregated into materials that may be incorporated into new products. Recover, capturing useful materials for waste to energy program. There you have it. Those were the 4 R's you need to remember when it comes to waste management. This time, please get your activity sheet in PLE Household Services Exploratory Course and answer the given questions. Enjoy answering! This has been Teacher James saying, continue learning and hashtag shine TANGKUB stars.
Inihahandog ng Dibisyon ng TANGKUB City ang iba't ibang kwento, aral, at kaalaman habang kayo ay nasa inyong mga tahanan. TV-based instruction.
Graphic organizers with both text and visuals have been scientifically proven to be an effective way of teaching and learning. Using them in the teaching and learning process makes the lessons more engaging and understandable, just like graphs or charts, which can be included in a text to make information clearer.
Happy New Year, grade 8 learners! Your first task in English subject for this year, 2021, is to explain visual-verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, information maps found in expository texts.
Now, take a moment to think about the graphics you've seen in textbooks, like the illustrations, photographs, charts, graphs, diagrams, and timelines used to present the topic at hand. Just as picture books use image to help new readers understand new words found on a page, authors of expository texts use graphics to help the readers understand the concepts better.
Before going further, let us define the following terminologies for better understanding. Visuals are considered to be things that can be seen, visible things other than printed words, that are used in communication process while verbal applies to written or spoken words. Visual verbal, characterized by a visual memory or imagination of words or verbal ideas, tending to represent words mentally in terms of sight, having a verbal form with visual contents.
Expository text is a type of informational text that provides factual information about a topic using a clear, concise, and organized structure with a major topic and supporting information. A well-written exposition remains focused on its topic and lists events in chronological order. Tables are used to present facts or figures displayed in columns and rows. Information in the title and headings or labels tell what the columns and rows represent. Graph, also called chart, is a pictorial device such as a pie chart or a bar graph used to illustrate quantitative relationships. Now this time, let us view a portion of the episode and be able to identify the nonverbal illustration used and their functions.
graphics is shown in the video? Correct! It is a table about basics of solid waste segregation at home. How did the illustration help the mother in disposing the garbage properly?
Absolutely. The mother or nanay in the video is more guided in doing her task correctly upon referring to the table mounted on the wall near the trash bins.
That's right. The table about basics of solid waste segregation at home help the mother in identifying the kinds and type of waste they produce at home and the proper way of disposing them.
Moreover, the table having the verbal form with visual contents helped the character better understand the visual verbal idea.
This time, let us explain visual-verbal relationship illustrated and graph found in our expository texts.
So, let us read the introductory part of the expository texts. Ways of traveling and organize the ideas found in the texts by identifying the similarities of backpacking and staying in hotels using the H chart. Traveling is one of the favorite hobbies almost all people have. There are several ways for traveling around the world, and they all include some good things and some bad things. Backpacking and staying in hotels are two of the most common ways of traveling. That's why they are used by most people. The major differences that could be discussed between these two ways of traveling are the costs, the safety of the staying, and the availability of plants.
Now, what is the expository text all about? You're right. It talks about some ways of traveling like backpacking and staying in the hotels.
This time, let us complete the H chart. What are the similarities of backpacking and staying in hotels as ways of traveling? Correct. They include some good and bad things. And they are two most common ways of traveling. What else? You've got another point. Both of them are used by many people.
Since we had already identified the similarities of the two common ways of traveling, let us then supply their differences. This time, kindly get your activity sheet in English 8 and do the instructions.
Directions. Read the whole part of the expository text and explain the idea presented through completing the H chart with the differences of backpacking and staying in hotels as two of the most common ways of traveling.
There are many ways for us to better understand the ideas presented in visual-verbal relationship as illustrated in tables and graphs.
It is important that we learn to organize and understand ourselves through identifying the similarities and differences in order to be understood and to understand others. Thank you for your time, dear learners. Till then, this has been Mama Halia
and Ma'am Pinky
saying Happy New Year, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
If you don't smell good, then you don't look good. Happy New Year, Grade 8 learners! I am Teacher James and welcome to another learning episode of Ang TANGKUB TV-based instruction. At this time, we are now to process your learning in TLE Household Services Exploratory course based on the video played earlier. Let's try to look back at this scene.
Nabasa ko na kanina ang balitang iyan sa newspaper. Hay nako, talagang nakakabahala na ang balita ngayon. Dahil marahil sa pagbabago ng klima na epekto ng globalisasyon.
Tama ka, Inay. Maaaring malaking dahilan ng climate change sa globalisasyon. Yan kasi ang tinalakay namin ni Teacher Esther kanina.
Talaga na? Speaking of globalisasyon, talagang naaapektuhan ng malaki ang ekonomiya at politikal na kalagayan ng mga bansa sa daigdig. O sige anak, good night! Oh, teka muna, tapos ka na bang mag-toothbrush at maglinis ng buong katawan?
Opo, Inay. Tapos na po. Sige po, good night din po, Inay.
Based on the video clip, Nanay reminded Juan to brush his teeth before going to sleep. Regular brushing of our teeth is one of the ways to keep ourselves healthy and is part of our personal hygiene.
O sige anak, good night! Oh, teka muna, tapos ka na bang mag-toothbrush at maglinis ng buong katawan?
Opo, Inay. Tapos na po. Sige po, good night din po, Inay.
For today's lesson learners, we will explore how to maintain a professional image through personal hygiene and good grooming. Personal hygiene and good grooming is all about inviting respect and admiration from others through your appearance and actions. Personal hygiene refers to practices that lead to cleanliness and health preservation. Examples of personal hygiene practices include hair cutting, shaving, brushing teeth, bathing daily, nail clipping, and many more. It also refers to good personal appearance. Personal hygiene is the first step to good grooming and good health. Good grooming is knowing what to do and putting it into practice on a daily basis. It starts before you put on your clothing. It means taking care of your hair, skin, face, hands, and your total body. Good grooming can lift your morale. Good grooming is structured to understand the importance of creating a positive impression, behave appropriately at social and business functions, enhancing the corporate and social image through dressing, understanding that basic grooming is all about cleanliness, tidiness, and hygiene, how to manage a personal hygiene, understanding the importance of nonverbal communication through facial expressions, posture, and behavior. And lastly, understanding the uniqueness of cultures around the world and how to apply the skills of cultural understanding to become more successful in the global business environment. Grooming do's and don'ts. Wear your hair clean and styled neatly. Use deodorant. Shave your facial hair. Trim your beard if you are sporting one. Do not use a lot of perfume or cologne. Do not smoke, chew gum, or spit tobacco. Do not have dirty fingernails. Trim and scrub hands if necessary. Clothing do's and don'ts. Wear clean iron clothes. Empty pockets. Beware of bulging keys and coins. Don't wear loud, bright colors. These colors can be used sparingly as accents or accessories. Now, let's talk about etiquette. Etiquette constitutes the forms, manners, and ceremonies established by convention as acceptable or required by society in a profession or in official life. It is also considered as the ability to reason and do the right thing at the right time. Etiquette is the foundation of having social grace. Examples of professional etiquettes. Look the person you are speaking to straight in the eye. This gives the person the impression that you are interested and very attentive. Think before, during, and after you speak. Do not speak with your mouth full. Speak in a gentle and pleasing tone. Avoid the use of slang, swearing, or any other bad language. Do not interrupt people while they are talking. Refrain from sarcasm or double meanings in your conversation. Try to keep the main topic of the conversation away from yourself. Refrain from discussing people's private affairs or secrets. Try not to speak ill of others. Speak only about the things you know. Remember to respect others. Maintain a behavior that does not offend others. Look your best at all times according to the time, place, and occasion. Do not eat or drink in places not designated for such. Do not groom yourself in public. Be courteous. Consider others. Be sure not to make noises that may bother others. There you have it. Those were the points to remember when it comes to personal hygiene and good grooming. This time, please get your activity sheet in Household Services Exploratory Course and answer the given questions. This has been Teacher James saying continue learning and hashtag shine TANGKUB stars.
Inihahandog ng Dibisyon ng TANGKUB City ang iba't ibang kwento, aral, at kaalaman habang kayo ay nasa inyong mga tahanan. TV-based instruction.
The ability to make connection is a reading comprehension strategy that could help you find meaning from every book you read and community you live in.
Hello, grade 9 learners! We hope that you are doing great today because another meaningful lesson is up for grabs.
It is only when we realize that ideas in the texts connect to our experiences and beliefs, events, and happening in a larger world can reading actually come alive.
And as a refresher, let us review the meaning of these following terms: social issues, concerns, dispositions. A social issue is some problem or concern connected to a larger issue that affects society in general. On the other hand, concern means something that is important to any person. Lastly, disposition is a prevailing tendency, mood, or inclination. It also means the temperamental makeup of an individual or the tendency to act in a certain manner under a given circumstance.
To get started, let us view a segment of the episode a while ago. Please be very observant of the details because we will be discussing them in a while.
Nabasa ko na kanina ang balitang iyan sa newspaper. Hay nako, talagang nakakabahala na ang balita ngayon dahil marahil sa pagbabago ng klima na epekto ng globalisasyon.
Tama ka, Inay. Maaaring malaking dahilan ng climate change sa globalisasyon. Yan kasi ang tinalakay namin ni Teacher Esther kanina.
Talaga na? Speaking of globalisasyon, talagang naaapektuhan ng malaki ang ekonomiya at politikal na kalagayan ng mga bansa sa daigdig. O sige anak, good night!
Now, let us analyze what you just watched a while ago and answer some questions. What issue was watched and read by the mother in the story?
That's right. It is about the effects of climate change brought about by globalization. The mother, or Nanay, as she was called in the story, said that globalization has greatly affected the economic and political conditions of different countries across the globe.
Do you agree with the mother's thoughts that globalization has greatly affected the economic and political situations of different countries across the globe?
Before we give our opinion, let us make sure that we are guided by facts presented to us by what's really happening in the real world around us. In order to do such, let us read the short news lead of an article.
Globalization as we know it is over because of the coronavirus pandemic, billionaire port magnate Enrique Razon said Wednesday as lockdown and travel restrictions put businesses on pause. Apparently, globalization means differently to different people across the world. Let us look at the two sides of the coin, always. For some, it creates political, economic, and technological progress. As defined and put simply, globalization is the connection of the different parts of the world. In economics, globalization can be defined as the process by which businesses, organizations, and countries begin operating in an international scale.
On the other hand, globalization has also adverse effects for others, such as uniformity, which allows little to no space for identity among nations. One thing is for sure, globalization has also created both winners and losers.
Our opinions and dispositions from the text we read vary. This is due to the fact that our dispositions and beliefs are reflective of our own reality and personal experiences in life in general.
Can you think of other issues reflected by a particular text? Let us read this article and connect it with particular social issues, concerns, and dispositions in real life. It's a portion of the article about TikTok written by Kevin Manjur.
TikTok is a unique blend of social media platforms. Here's why kids love it. TikTok, as a social media platform targeted at young mobile phone users, was the second most downloaded app in the world in 2019. It was the most downloaded app in July 2020.
As a political scientist who studies social media, I've looked at what makes TikTok unique and why young people have flocked to it. In short, the phone-only app lets users record themselves dancing or goofing around to a music or spoken word clip and then alter the videos using a wide array of effects. Despite its superficially frivolous nature, young people have been using the platform to send political messages, coordinate political actions, and hang out into an online space largely free of adults. Each TikTok is a 3 to 60-second long video that loops when finished. The majority of the screen is taken up by video uploaded by the users. The app offers a wide range of options for customizing and combining these videos, including video taken with the user's smartphone, photos uploaded from the web, emojis and other text superimposed on the video, and special effects. The app's only library of filters and video distorting effects is like Instagram filters but for video. In this news feature, what do you think is the social issue raised? You may be able to identify not just one but other issues of great interest. But here's one. It is the unstoppable growth of TikTok among young generation, including you, our dear learners who may be watching this video lesson.
Speaking of, are you one of the many billion people who also downloaded the TikTok app? What could have been your reason for downloading it anyway? Is it because it's user-friendly?
Or you are just one of those who joined the bandwagon because it's trending these days?
Or you downloaded it because you were one of those young people who got sick, tired, and bored because of the quarantine?
You see, one question may be answered differently by different people because people's thoughts are unique and reflective of their own reality. What is important is that you have been critical in understanding the text and have made connections of it to the real life experiences.
Never doubt that you are capable of identifying and making connections between texts to particular social issues, concerns, and dispositions in life.
As an additional guide, do consider the following questions. Focusing on text to self-connections. What does this story remind you of? Can you relate to the characters in the story? Does anything in this story remind you of anything in your own life? Focusing on text to text connections. What does this remind you of in another book you have read? How is this text similar to other things you have read? How is this text different from other things you have read? Lastly, focusing on text-to-world connections. What does this remind you of in the real world? How are events in the story similar to the things that happen in the real world? And lastly, how are events in the story different from the things that happen in the real world?
Now, it's your time to show us what you've got in today's lesson. Kindly get your activity sheet in English 9 and do the instructions.
Directions. Read the story of the rainbow and be able to answer the questions that follow. Question. What message of the story is still applicable in the world today? Do relate it with the current state of the country or the world in general.
Always remember that any text or piece of literature is not just written for nothing. It always has an underlying theme or meaning we should delve into, which may be helpful as we live the life with purpose.
Hope that you have learned from this episode, grade 9 learners. Stay tuned for up next is another brand new lesson in TLE. Still here in your one and only educational TV program, Ang TANGKUB! This has been Mama Halia
and Ma'am Pinky,
your English teachers, saying continue to love, care, and share. Goodbye!
Bye!
Happy New Year, Grade 9 learners! I am Teacher James and welcome to another learning episode of TANGKUB TV-based instruction. This time, we are now to process your learning in TLE Cookery 9 based on the video played earlier. Let's try to look back at this scene.
May pamilya ka ba?
Opo, tatay ko may sakit. Yung nanay ko naman walang trabaho, kaya napilitin ako ganito.
O heto, tanggapin mo ito, tsaka ito na ring pera. Huwag ka nang maglimos ha. Delikado ang panahon na yon kasi may COVID-19, kaya kung pwede, umuwi ka na.
Opo, maraming salamat po. Maraming tulong doon sa pamilya ko po. Thank you po. Bye-bye.
Based on the scene, Tatay handed a fruit salad inside a plastic container to the street child.
Ganito?
O heto, tanggapin mo ito, tsaka ito na ring pera. Huwag ka nang maglimos ha. Delikado ang panahon na yon kasi may COVID-19, kaya kung pwede, umuwi ka na.
Opo, maraming salamat po. Maraming tulong doon sa pamilya ko po. Thank you po. Bye-bye.
Nowadays, plastic container is one of the most commonly used when it comes to storing food. Today's lesson deals with storage of salad and appetizers using appropriate container to sustain freshness and taste. Storing salads and appetizers is one of the most important activities done after preparing them to maintain freshness and avoid spoilage. Tools and equipment used in storing salads and appetizers: chillers, refrigerator, containers for salad and appetizers. Storing techniques for food could be done through the following techniques. First, refrigerate, to keep food cold or cool. Second, cold storage, the process of preserving food by means of refrigeration. Lastly, chilling, to refrigerate to reduce the temperature of food. Sanitary practices when storing salads and appetizers. First, handle the food properly to prevent spoilage and contamination. Next, wash utensils and equipment thoroughly. Keep off-hand to a minimum contact to ingredients and food. Keep away from food when you are ill. Store food and ingredients properly. Safeguard the food during distribution and serving, such as chill to refrigerate or to reduce the temperature of food. Place it to cold storage like refrigerator to preserve perishable food. There you have it. Those are the different ways of storing your salads and appetizers. This time, please get your activity sheet in TLE Cookery 9 and answer the given questions. Enjoy answering! This has been Teacher James saying continue learning and hashtag Shine TANGKUB Stars.
Inihahandog ng dibisyon ng TANGKUB City ang iba't ibang kwento, aral at kaalaman habang kayo ay nasa inyong mga tahanan. TV-based instruction.
reliably, we use language in our everyday communication and transaction with others. Aside from this, language enables us to inform, entertain, influence, and persuade others. Howdy, grade 10 learners! It's a beautiful day to learn another meaningful lesson in English. This time, you should be mindful and observe the language of research, campaigns, and advocacies.
When we actually engage in various fields of interests, like doing research work, campaigning for specific cause, and supporting advocacy, we used proper language. For instance, research make use of formal, academic, and persuasive language to communicate discussions and present corresponding findings for the variables being studied.
Language greatly mattered in research, as it serves as a tool to effectively communicate valuable results to intended or targeted audience. On the other hand, the readers will be able to put their trust to the researchers and use the facts or findings based on how clearly the researchers explains them based on appropriate language.
This is to say that the language a researcher uses contributes greatly to how reliable and credible the research findings can be.
For others, understanding the language of research also entails becoming acquainted or familiar with terminologies usually associated with conducting research studies. These are some of the characteristics of the language used in research.
First, formal language is often defined by means of a formal grammar. Formal languages are a purely synthetical notion, so there is not necessarily any meaning associated with them. Formal languages are studied in the fields of logic, computer science, and linguistics.
Academic language refers to the oral, written, auditory, and visual language proficiency required to learn effectively in schools and academic programs. Example, it's the language used in classroom lessons, books, tests, and assignments, and it's the language that students are expected to learn and achieve fluency in. Frequently contrasted with conversational or social language, academic language includes a variety of formal language skills such as vocabulary, grammar, punctuation, syntax, discipline-specific terminology, or rhetorical conventions that allow students to acquire knowledge and academic skills while also successfully navigating school policies, assignments, expectations, and cultural norms.
Persuasive language refers to techniques, methods, or persuasive strategies used by writers to persuade the audience to agree with certain ideas or thoughts. Writers use logic and emotions to make them more compelling. Language greatly matters in research, as it enables the researcher to effectively communicate the valuable results to the target readers or audience. The readers, on the other hand, will be able to trust and make use of facts and findings depending on how clearly the researcher explains them in particular language.
In the case of research studies, the language of the researcher contributes to how reliable and convincing the research findings can be.
For some, understanding the language of research can also becoming familiar and acquainted with terminologies usually associated with conducting research studies. These terminologies include theories, concepts, variables, hypotheses, and samples.
Let us learn 5 important terms in research and their important feature. Limitations. Identify potential weaknesses of the study. Hypothesis. Hypothesis represents specific restatements of the purpose of the study, which can be directional or non-directional. Write in literary form, which means that the variables will be stated in abstract, concept-oriented language or operational form, which uses specific language. Informed consent. Subjects and participants must understand the nature of the project, what procedures will be used, and to what use the results will be put. Pilot study, a preliminary trial of the study or a mini-study and should be performed before the final study. Lastly, variable, any attribute or characteristic that can vary, such as diagnosis, age, heart rate, elbow flexion, and self-esteem. There are still a lot of terms specifically used in research. Now that you already have the idea about the language of research, you can now observe how they are properly used.
So, it's time to show us what you got. Kindly get your activity sheet in English 10 and read and answer the directions.
Directions. Supply the correct research term to complete the thought of the sentences below. We hope that you have learned something from today's discussion, as learning English makes your dreams reachable and possible as easy as ABC. Still here in your one and only educational TV program,
Ang TANGKUB!
This has been Ma'am Mahalia
and Ma'am Pinky,
saying continue to love, care, and share.
Bye!
Even the wisest mind has something yet to learn by George Sansayana. Happy New Year, grades and learners! I am Teacher James and welcome to another episode of Ang TANGKUB TV-based instruction. At this point of time, we are now to process your learning in TL8 Housekeeping 10 based on the video played earlier. Let's try to watch this scene again. Based on the scene, Juan is filling up a form before entering the museum. Just like in hotels, different forms are used for different purposes. For today's lesson, we will explore the different housekeeping and front office forms used by hotels. Forms and reports play an important role in managing housekeeping activities. It serves as evidence in specific incident, situation, or happening. Reports are very useful method for tracking information. The information contained in reports can be used to make very important decisions that affect the establishment. Types of housekeeping and front office forms. Housekeeping attendance daily assignment sheet. It is a form used by housekeepers or room attendants to record the tasks done during their shift. This form will also help them plan their work for the day. Second, maintenance request form. It is used whenever there are problems reported by the guest to the housekeeping department. Common problems for maintenance are faulty equipment, electrical issues, broken furniture, TV not working properly, and many more. Next is the housekeeping work order form. It is used when there are requests for work to be done or additional amenities. Guest room cleaning checklist. It is used by the housekeeping supervisor to check on a daily basis how the cleaning service for every guest room was done. Lost and found slip. It is a document used to keep track of records for lost and found items. And lastly, housekeeping status report. It is prepared by the housekeeping department and handed down to the front desk to give them an update as to the status of each hotel room. The front desk then assigns rooms to arriving guests based on the occupancy report. There you have it. Those are the different housekeeping and front office forms used by hotels. This time, please get your activity sheet in TLA Housekeeping 10 and answer the given questions. This has been Teacher James saying continue learning and hashtag Shine TANGKUB Stars.
so sad. The tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess can make me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and talk to me now. Hey, what you got to hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm a lot like you. When you're standing at the crossroads and don't know which path to choose, let me come along. 'Cause even if you're wrong, I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. And when the night falls on you, baby, you're feeling all alone. You won't be on your own. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you.
Tanggub City, simply home. Tanggub City, simply home. This is our place, Tanggub City. There is so much you can see. A paradise from nature's best. It's a beauty among the rest. Rich in culture and history, it has a colorful festivity. One people in harmony, one people in great revelry. Tanggub City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Tanggub City, simply home. 25 years of cultural fame, endless beauty in silver years. Magical symbols every Christmas, people dance in all festivals. Go We are proud of this great city. One people, one destiny. TANGKUB City is a place to be. TANGKUB City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Gearing for progress and development. People remain focused to their commitment. Preserving the tradition of good values into TANGKUB City, simply call our home. TANGKUB City is proudly celebrating milestones and beyond. A never-ending celebration, a joy for everyone. Come and join us, let's all have fun. It's a legacy that we have done. A brighter future of our city is at hand. Brighter future, TANGKUB City, simply home. TANGKUB City, simply home. TANGKUB City.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ang mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay.
Kahit maraming problema, chill ka lang, don't stop sa pag-eskwela. Kabataan, pag-asa ng ating bayan. Ikaw, ako, tayong lahat ay magtutulungan. Ihanda na ang pisara, upuan at mga mesa. Ang pag-aaral ay simulan na. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina, sa school magsama-sama. Abutin ng mga pangarap, mayaman man o mahirap. Edukasyon ay para sa lahat. Halina, balik eskwela na. Halina at magkakaisa. Maghawak ng kamay, sumigaw ng sabay-sabay. Isang tinig tungo sa tagumpay. Halina.
We hope that you have learned the most essential lessons you need to master. See you on our next episodes. This has been ang TANGKUB.
It's TANGKUB, TANGKUB, TANGKUB time. makes it very fun, masaya. Tutok na.
Kung gusto mong maglingaw-lingaw, mga tawag magloling hayaw, mag-joyride na. Uba na ang imong barkada, silingan o pamilya, mag-joyride na. Sinati untang palibot, mga lugar sulod sa tanggob, mag-ubanta. Silang gato makilaw, sa sanabog sa pulaw, laagunta. Labi na yun sa huyuhoy, ugnang dapit daghan og kahoy, talanan. Maglibot tango, maglibot tango mata. Maglipay-lipay, magsakay-sakay tala. Maghihiusa, maghihigala. Let's get together, make life feel better. Kung gusto ka og entertainment, for fun and for enjoyment, no problem ka. Sinanduloy among pambato, kumusayo smart kaayo, believe jud ka. Panahon sab sa Disyembre, super gid ka aligre, malingaw gid ka. Fireworks display daghang ganahan, musidlak sa kalangitan, mapawag gid ka. Christmas symbols, capital of the Philippines. Ninira na ninyo makita, friends, diba? Diri sa tanggop, maglibot tanggop ta. Maglipay-lipay, magsakay-sakay tala. Maghihiusa, maghihigala. Let's get together, make life feel better. Makita, friends, diba? Happy sa tango, maglibot tango ta. Maglipay-lipay, magsakay-sakay tala. Maglibot tango, maglibot tango ta. Maglibot tango, maglibot tango ta. Maglibot tango, maglibot tango.